Well, it looks like good old Fani Willis just had her good old Fanny saved, at least for the time being. Bada bing, bada boom. Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler, and the news of the week is that good old Fani Willis in the Georgia RICO prosecution case has had her Fanny saved, at least for the time being, in that she will not be called to testify in the context of the divorce proceedings between her now boyfriend Nathan Wade and his soon-to-be ex-wife Jocelyn Wade, but that victory might be short-lived because she has been subpoenaed to testify in another case. I'll get there in a second, but first I just want to address the big Fanny in the room.
Fanny.
Now, given the obvious juvenile jokes that could be made about Fani Willis's name, and I am not above juvenile humor,
we're going to start today by reading together a short story entitled My Sister Fanny. Quiet.
I have been making jokes about Fani Willis's name. Now, you'll notice in the mainstream media, they're pronouncing it Fani so that they don't pronounce it with the childish Fanny that will allow people like me to make fun of the name. But I've been making the jokes about the poo-poo hitting the Fanny, and I've been getting a lot of comments from my UK crowd saying that is absolutely disgusting, Viva. And I'm sitting here saying, what's the problem? The joke practically writes itself.
It seems like a perfect situation.
Until I went into the dictionary to look up what Fanny means in Brit talk. In American and Canadian lexicon, the Fanny means the backside, the buttocks.
From Merriam-Webster, synonyms: backside, booty, bottom, bum, butt, caboose, cheeks, derriere, fundament, haunches, hunkers, keister, posterior, rear end, seat, tail end, behind, booty, breech, buns, buttocks, can, derriere, duff, hams, hiney, keister, nates, rear, rump, tail, tush.
But apparently in Brit lexicon, Fanny means
vagina.
So now I can wholly understand why the Brits are sort of saying, ooh, gross, when I make jokes about the poo-poo hitting the Fanny. It doesn't matter. Now you know a little bit more than you knew 30 seconds ago, and maybe you know a little bit more than you wanted to know 30 seconds ago. But the big news of the week is that in the context of the Jocelyn Wade versus Nathan Wade divorce proceedings, in which Fani Willis was subpoenaed to testify and a judge stayed her subpoena pending testimony from Nathan Wade, oh my goodness, did they settle that case fast. The breaking news of the day is that there has been an interim settlement reached in the context of that divorce proceeding, such that not only will Fani Willis not potentially have to testify, but Nathan Wade himself won't have to testify, at least for the time being. But we should back up a little bit to the judge's ruling a little while ago and the things he said. He said in the context of Nathan Wade, Jocelyn Wade's divorce proceedings, we might not need to hear from Fani Willis because she might not have unique information as relates to the divorce. So he stayed the subpoena for Fani Willis to testify pending testimony from Nathan Wade, who would be the person with the most direct knowledge of the divorce proceedings, the alleged affair. And if Nathan Wade lacked unique information that Fani Wade herself had, then the judge might come back and revisit the subpoena.
And without Mr. Wade having been deposed yet or given sworn testimony yet, I'll note for the record we have a hearing set for 9 days away where sworn testimony can be presented. Without me knowing what Mr. Wade would say, it seems to me that Mr. Wade would be the first and best source of information on what his income has been and how he's been spending it, and that he would have firsthand knowledge of whether he's engaged in an extramarital affair. Only after I hear what Mr. Wade has to say do I think I can make a determination of whether the proposed opponent has any unique knowledge about these issues. With all that being said, I'm not prepared, Mr. Axum, to grant your protective order, but since the deposition is set for tomorrow and our first evidentiary hearing is set for the 31st, I will issue a stay. And I will stay the deposition until I'm in a better position to make a determination of whether the proposed opponent would have any unique knowledge, unique being the key word there, that is not possessed by Mr. Wade himself.
But for the time being, holy crab apples, would I like to be behind closed doors there. I have a feeling that Fani Willis went to Nathan Wade and she pulled out the old liar, settle. You may recall that in the context of the divorce proceedings as relates to the subpoena for Fani Willis to testify, the judge basically said, look, this is a mathematics issue right here. We just need to get to a quantum in the context of the divorce. So we're going to stay Fani Willis's subpoena. And if you don't recall that, I'll refresh your memory right now with the clip.
It seems to me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that what we have here is a math problem. Equitable division of the marital assets after determining what they actually are, alimony, and attorney's fees. That's a mathematical equation that we need to solve. The solution will be a number or 3 numbers. but the numbers will be expressed in dollars and cents.
Well, it seems that they have magically found that number just in the nick of time. Nathan Wade is not going to have to testify for now. Fani Willis is not going to have to testify, at least in the context of that divorce proceedings, but her victory might be very short-lived. It might be very short-lived because it would seem that Ashley Merchant, the attorney for Michael Roman, one of the defendants in the RICO case that Fani Willis and her boyfriend are prosecuting, it would seem that Ashley Merchant filed a lawsuit for and on behalf of her client, Michael Roman, in which she alleges that Fani Willis improperly withheld evidence from Michael Roman. So they filed a separate lawsuit in which Fani Willis has again been subpoenaed to testify. Oh my goodness, she's going to testify one way or the other, and it's probably better that it not be in the context of divorce proceedings so that the scope of the examination, the discovery, can be that much broader.
DA Willis is facing pressure on every single side.
Right, guys, you could say it's been a week of highs and lows for Fani Willis. First, she narrowly avoided having to testify in the divorce case of the man she is accused of being in a relationship with, and also hiring to be the special prosecutor on this case, Nathan Wade. So that will not happen for now. Now, Fani Willis's problems have shifted to Fulton County, where there is a subpoena for her to testify later next month. Their testimony was forced by a subpoena filed by defendant Michael Roman, a former Trump campaign official whose legal team made the initial allegations about Wade and Willis. Right, and also today, Roman, who was the one who made these initial accusations and filed the subpoena, also sued Fani Willis civilly, saying that she has failed to comply with requests for documents that he says are crucial to his defense.
This is so far from over for Fani Willis, it defies words. It would seem, ironically enough, that the woman allegedly investigating RICO corruption might herself be exposing her own RICO-level corruption, and this is so far from over, I might even go and quote Happy Gilmore and suggest that this has only just begun.
We've only just begun.
And this proverbial can of worms, or I think Fanny might say the Pandora's box, has been opened thanks to the hard, amazing work of Ashley Merchant, the attorney, the brave attorney for Michael Roman, because when you go after the top prosecutor in a state, you are opening yourself up to attacks. And Fani Willis has certainly been accused of some very corrupt reprisals against those who go after her or those who are politically disfavored to her. So Ashley Merchant, we are all waiting here with bated breath to see where this goes, because my goodness, when Fani Willis sits down on her Fanny for deposition, I did it again, people. When she sits down on her Fanny for deposition, if and when, and I hope it's when, sooner than later, she has to comply with that subpoena, there will be a lot of people listening to what she has to say. So now you know the latest of what's going on. If you like what I do, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment in the comment section below because it feeds the algorithm. Well, I certainly haven't used that meme in a while, but more important than anything, get out there, talk to people in real life, make sure everyone around you is doing well. If you want to follow me, Rumble, Viva Frei, Twitter, the Viva Frei, VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com, $10 a month, $100 a year at the discounted rate, but at the very least, now you know your vlog. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!
Well done, Counselor.